What's up, everybody? I've been thinking about doing a video based on my game-related t-shirts for a really long time. I get quite a few comments on my videos about the shirts I'm wearing and people asking where I got them from. In general, I own a lot of t-shirts. I have a ton of music-related ones, video game, comic book, some movie-related ones. And I used to work for a clothing retail chain store for about 8 years. This was a while back. And, you know, throughout those years, when they did, like, clearance sales or buy two, get one frees, I would buy a lot of shirts for dirt cheap. And I have a closet full, drawers full, and a couple baskets just loaded full of dirty ones, because I can never have them all washed at one time. I want to say that there's probably between 400 and 500 t-shirts in my collection now. And about maybe 75 to 100 of those are video game related. And I could never really think of a cool way to do a video, though, about t-shirts. I'm like, what am I going to do? Here's a shirt I bought at this store, and here's one I got over here at this convention or something. It just didn't seem like they'd be really interesting. But recently, about a month and a half ago, I saw a video on the channel Happy Console Gamer. That is Johnny Millennium's channel. And Johnny and his friend Robman were showing off some of their game-related shirts, and some that they had made themselves, and just talking about, you know, stories about where they got them from. And it actually was pretty damn interesting, and I enjoyed it. So I sent Johnny a message and asked him, hey, can I steal your idea for the video? And he was like, yeah, sure, go for it. So thank you, Johnny, and I'll actually put a link to his t-shirt video in the description down below. I should start off by mentioning that back when I was in middle school and early high school, there wasn't really any stores that carried video game t-shirts. This was before Hot Topic had any, and nowadays you can go into like Walmart or Sears or Kmart, and they have entire dedicated sections to video game shirts. Back then, if you wanted to buy any, you pretty much had to like order them online or through a magazine or go to a convention. And I got a lot of my shirts from conventions. There'd be an entire booth of nothing but video game, comic book, movie-related t-shirts, all, you know, nerdy shit. And I spent a lot of money at conventions, especially Dragon Con in Atlanta. There were normally a few vendors that had massive selections of t-shirts. And I really started collecting video game shirts with the Resident Evil series. And around when Resident Evil 4 came out, there was this huge boom of Resident Evil merchandise. There were so many different shirts and hoodies and hats and all different things coming out. And I picked up a lot at the Dragon Con up in Atlanta. I pulled together some of the more unique ones. I have a lot of Resident Evil shirts. These are some of the ones I don't wear as often because you'll see why. Basically, this one is bright orange. But this is a really cool one. It says the natives are restless on it, and it has the chainsaw. Nothing on the back. But very cool shirt. I just don't wear... Crazy K is calling me. Hold on one second. Crazy Kenneth wanted me to know all the cool stuff he got today, so now we can get back to the video. I was saying that I obviously don't wear bright tangerine-colored t-shirts very often, but this one's also a pretty cool one. This is a green herb. It says Resident Evil down the side, and a lot of these shirts, they were never available in any stores. Sometimes some shirts that, you know, were at conventions or online first, maybe a retail chain picked them up later on and put them in stores. But a lot of these were never purchased for store sales, maybe because they thought they wouldn't sell very well. Obviously, like I said, you know, bright colored t-shirts or more obscure random ones. Maybe they thought, you know, if they didn't say Resident Evil or Umbrella on them, or had the Umbrella logo, people wouldn't buy them. This one is a pretty funny one. Unfortunately, this shirt is kind of fragile. It says El Gigante on it for Resident Evil 4, has a picture of him. But the printing on this, it sort of falls off anytime I wash it. So I try to only wear this one occasionally and barely ever wash it. Obviously don't stick it in the dryer. But the printing on this one kind of sucked. And I'll go through these Resident Evil ones kind of quick because there's a decent amount of them. Just a big white RPD one with the Raccoon City Police Department logo on the front. And another... Umbrella logo one, Umbrella 1968. I like that Resident Evil really went unique with a lot of their shirts. instead of just printing a ton that, basically had the characters on them, at this time they tried to make quite a few that if you weren't really a big fan of the series, you weren't going to know what the shirt was for, which kind of made it feel a little bit cooler, like, hey, only other people that are really big fans are going to recognize this, and, we'll have like a little, cool bond. And that's why I liked a lot of these styles, just because they were very unique. This one is a very odd shirt. This was actually one that was carried at Hot Topic. It is a long sleeve thermal shirt, and it's definitely more of like an artsy one. It has like an eagle head with some cross shotguns. There's actually a chopped off zombie head looking down there. And on the front, it says Resident Evil. And on one of the sleeves, there's a crossed like shotguns right there. This is a little bit too snug for me. Let's just say I put on a couple pounds since I bought that one, so I haven't worn that one in quite a few years. Who knows, maybe I'll slim down at some point. This is, I think, the last Resident Evil shirt I'll show off, just because it's one of my favorites. It's just so bright and bloody. It's just pretty simple, just a zombie puking up some blood. And actually, I believe this was another one that was carried at Hot Topic. So a couple of these ones were ones that I purchased from a retail store. Next, you'll notice with my collection of game shirts, I mainly have horror-related game t-shirts. It is my favorite genre, so it's what I bought a lot for. I don't own any like Mario t-shirts. I love Mario, but not enough really to wear t-shirts for him. These are some of my Silent Hill t-shirts. Now, Silent Hill has never had a lot of merchandise in North America of any type. And back when these shirts came out, they did one run of, I want to say, 5 or 6 different styles. A couple of them were picked up for retail stores. Some of them were online only, or if a company, like that does conventions, bought some offline and, was selling them at a convention. So they were kind of harder to come by. And I remember it was a really big deal. Like, I actually read about these shirts in a couple different magazines, and the fact that Konami was actually putting out Silent Hill merchandise was pretty cool. And these shirts are also kind of unique for game-related shirts, just in their designs and stuff. This one has Silent Hill going down the sort of the side from the collar, and on the back has a little Robbie the Rabbit laying in a pool of blood. And then this one is, I think, probably my favorite Silent Hill shirt. I've worn the hell out of it, but it's still together, still in good shape. You got a nurse on it with a pipe, and then on the back, a very rusty Silent Hill logo. And the last one I'll show, these aren't all the Silent Hill shirts I have, but this one, let's see, what's the front? Oh, the front is Robbie the Rabbit's head, and on the back side, on the sleeve, says Silent Hill. Now, unfortunately, they have never really put out much more Silent Hill merchandise. I mean, they've done a few statues over the past few years in North America, and this shirt that I'm wearing is for the haunted house that was at Halloween Horror Nights. I usually don't buy shirts from events like that, but it only says Halloween Horror Nights in tiny little print right down there. So I thought it was pretty cool with the nurse and Robbie the Rabbit on it. But I really wish they would have put out some more merchandise for Silent Hill in any type, clothing or figures or whatever, but sadly they did not. One other like horror-related shirt I have is this one's for Left 4 Dead. And when both Left 4 Dead 1 and 2 came out, there were quite a few different t-shirts, and I remember there was some hats. I own a few different shirts. This one is just for Left 4 Dead. I have, I think, one Left 4 Dead 2 t-shirt. This one's pretty cool because it's basically like one of the little signs you'd see running through the game. It says, if you think you are infected, remain calm. And then it has a bunch of other little things down here. And it says emergency hotline, and the phone number, unfortunately, has been ripped off. But, like I said, I think I own 3 or 4 Left 4 Dead t-shirts. Some of the non-horror-related shirts I own, we would get a lot of promo items when I worked at that clothing store and obviously working at GameStop. They would send us shirts that were going to be coming out maybe for sale, and this one was for Ninja Gaiden Black, and it's kind of hard to read the black, 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 black down there. But yeah, this was a shirt that they just, like the managers convention, they gave you a big basket of stuff for free, and this was in that. So I wear this pretty often. For shirts that you could buy in stores, for what I own, I really own maybe a couple Halo ones, and maybe a few other ones that aren't horror related. But like I said, for the most part, most of my t-shirts that I've bought are horror related t-shirts for video games. Now these few are some of my promo t-shirts. Now these ones were not available for purchase online or at a convention or anything. Basically it was advertisement, you know, for the games coming out. This one is Max Payne 3. And on the back, it actually says the launch date, March 2012, pre-order now. And obviously these are ones to be worn by employees, has a little Rockstar logo right there, you know, to advertise the game. And I don't wear my promo t-shirts. I have them in that case, one of the cases in the back of my game room, sort of folded and displayed like this so you can see, you know, what they're for. But I figured that these ones were free, so I didn't buy them, and also they're ones that, you know, are going to be harder to come across again. If I wanted to buy it, I'd pretty much have to go on to eBay and pay however much someone's going to ask for a promo t-shirt. But so yeah, these ones never get worn. This one is for Mass Effect 3, and it says Better with Connect on it. And we got a Shepherd on the back. Hey, that's my last name too. And it says GameStop and Xbox 360 at the bottom. And then this one is probably one of the cooler promo shirts I have, because it is actually a collared button-up shirt for Portal 2. And it says GameStop over on the sleeve. But it's just you know, almost all the ones I have are normal t-shirts and not fancy ones. So this one's a pretty nice one. It's nicely made as well. But I have a lot of other promo shirts, and I was thinking about maybe doing another game-related t-shirt video and just showing the rest of those. But I think that sort of, you know, is a good enough coverage. You know, nowadays, like I mentioned, you can go into many different stores and buy game-related shirts, but it was not always as easy. Now, I want to mention for washing purposes, the reason why some of these shirts I've had for like 10 years or more, washing them in obviously cold water and hang drying them, never sticking them in a dryer, has kept them from deteriorating too much, or from fading the blacks on them. A lot of my shirts are black, obviously. So it helps preserve these shirts. So if you have any of your own or any type of t-shirt, don't stick them in the dryer. Try to hang dry them. A little household tip for you right there. But that's it. Let me know in the comments down below, do you collect, you know, t-shirts? Do you own any certain, like, game series, you know, a whole t-shirt collection just based on a certain series like I do with Resident Evil and Silent Hill? Let me know down below. As always, thumbs up the video, please, and I will talk to you all later. Peace.